Console gamer, yes.
Yeah.
PlayStation VR 2. Hey, are reviews up yet? Or like, what's the deal? What
It's
are we allowed
out.
to say? It's out?
It's out.
Oh,
People can buy it. People
good.
have it.
Then I can talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I tried it. Have you tried it?
No.
Oh, there it is. Yes. PSVR 2. Luke, it's enough to make me want a PlayStation.
Really?
I want a PlayStation for the first time since the PS2.
Wow.
Yeah, like I wanted a PS2 because I wanted to play like Final Fantasy.
Have you tried the new Facebook one? The thinner one?
Yes.
The like professional one?
Yes.
And this is better.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
It's OLED. It's OLED.
Oh, I
It's
forgot about
OLED.
that. That's actually pretty sick. I remember seeing that in the specs and being like, damn. That's
Okay.
cool.
It's exactly as damn as you think it is. You can have a look.
Am I
have a
trying
look.
this?
No,
Okay.
I mean you can try it on. Okay, I'll show you the adjustments.
Okay.
So there's two adjustments. This button at the
Probably
back
pretty normal.
pulls it like that. Okay, and twist to tighten.
That do be how
Yep.
VR headsets work.
And then there's one here that goes like that. Okay, so a little something like that. Oh, the screen though. The screen. We've got a full review coming soon where we try a bunch of different games and do like a short comparison against what kind of VR setup you could build, like a PC VR setup that you could build for the same price. But this thing is exciting. It came out this week. Last week, Sony released a full official teardown showing off the new hardware. And based on the specs and based on my experience, the PSVR 2 is a significant jump. 4.1 megapixels per eye versus 1 megapixel per eye. HDR display. Yeah, OLED, HDR, Luke. HDR OLED.
Cool.
And pupil tracking. Pupil tracking. That's right. Foveated rendering. Games look so good in spite of the, on paper, lower graphical performance of the PlayStation 5 compared to a top-tier PC. This puts it miles beyond anything else that's in an equivalent price range, which is $550 in terms of visual quality. And
pretty comfy.
I gotta tell you this, okay? I've never actually used eye tracking and foveated rendering before.
Yeah.
I have used eye tracking before, and I know that it's like can be pretty fast. It can be pretty okay. It can pull at rates of well in excess of 100 hertz, which is, pretty good. But the eye moves faster than a lot of eye tracking technology, and my concern was that with foveated rendering, which I guess I haven't explained yet, what they're doing is they're tracking where you're looking, rendering just that spot. I think it's 4% of your field of view is actually
Not sure,
high res.
Yeah, it's small.
And then everything else is kind of junk tier. Even if it was in focus, it would be junk tier, right? So what it does is it takes that spot you're looking at, renders it at higher quality, and then everything else kind of goes to crap. And I couldn't tell if it was working from inside the headset
someone's saying.
because it's so fast. And Alex and
right. So if you like think something in your peripheral is poorly rendered, so you go to look at it, it's nicely rendered by the time you get there.
And I thought it just
that's
wasn't
cool.
working. I thought everything was just rendering at full quality because I'd like intentionally look, right? So, but then Alex was my spotter, and he had a TV set up capturing the
split out
experience.
front. Okay.
And we played a little game where I said I was in Horizon, whatever the Horizon experience
Oh,
is
he had
called.
to try to guess where you were looking?
He had to guess where I was looking based on the render quality, and he's just like, yeah, there. And there, and there. And so I'd be like, I'd look, and I'd try to beat it and see the lower. I couldn't do it.
That's kind of cool.
It's incredible.
Horizon Call of the Mountain, is that it?
Yeah, that's the one. And it is, oh man, it's moving in the complete opposite direction of what Meta's doing with their VR headsets. It's unapologetically a non-standalone VR headset.
Yeah.
It's the best hardware they could build into a headset.
It's
and you know
still
what?
tethered.
It's
not
tethered
wireless.
to a box. Deal with it, because that's what it takes to have this kind of fidelity. I mean, that doesn't mean they haven't streamlined it. The original PSVR had a large breakout box and a complex AV setup, whereas this is a single USB-C cable.
Is it
Just
possible
one.
to turn off the eye tracking?
I don't know. Why would you want to?
People with lazy eyes or other.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Okay, I need to do that audio pickup. Maybe talk about, I don't know, comfort or something. And you
Comfort
can also
was good. It has attached earbuds, which I'm not actually as much of a fan of, because what if you have more than one person at your house that uses it, or something? I would prefer the disc headphone things that I believe the Index has. Those were totally fine, in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of that, but general comfort and stuff actually quite good. The earbuds come off, unless they have like built-in headphones that replace it. I'm not a huge fan of wearing other headphones with it either. If they have additional headphones that you can buy that come with it or designed for it, then that's cool. But if not, I don't know personally. But yeah, comfort's good. This shroud, this like rubbery shroud, it's got a 3.5 millimeter jack. Yeah, that doesn't solve it for me personally. I don't want earbuds while I'm playing. But that's a preference thing. Yeah, they said that. I'm not super into that.
Well, here's the thing, right? Though the alternate solutions are either what Meta's doing with garbage tier audio. It sounds so bad. Or what Valve's doing, which presumably is expensive.
Oh, okay.
Like the Index costs twice as much as this. Still! And it doesn't even have an OLED display. Man. And the screen
you're gonna break them out.
The screen door effect, negligible. My understanding
is
you
can still see it, I'm assuming.
There are actually headsets out there that are slightly higher resolution, but it's real good. It's real good, and the persistence is so low. Like I got the headset on, I'm going like this, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. There's like no smearing. I'm just gonna go like this. This is my new game. This is
no external beacons.
No.
How's the tracking?
It's okay. I hope that Valve stays full purist and sticks with outside-in tracking. Yeah. I literally wired up my house for their base stations. My ceiling in my rec room has 12-volt power run inside it so that I can always have 4 base stations. I am a one of a kind. I suspect nobody else has actually done that. But that's how committed I am to outside-in tracking. It really is superior from a performance standpoint, but it's inconvenient.
I will say, for a tethered experience, the single USB-C cable with no breakout box is pretty sweet. Because I'm used to like this like thick cord of like 3 different cables coming out that has to plug into some like junction box at some point and then go into your computer in like 3 different plugs to the point where you might be like maxing out the USB on the back of your motherboard, whatever, like blah, blah, blah. It's super annoying. Just having one cable is really cool. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah. Oh man, 120 hertz. Oh,
it weighs
IPD adjustments.
It weighs less than the previous one, and it did feel light.
Actual IPD adjustments.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. However,
how are the new controllers?
Great. They're right here.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I'm okay. They're a little heavy, like rotationally.
Ooh.
I find that
my hand's too big.
This is kind of bulky, and there are definitely some things about the headset that are Japanese designed. That's one of them.
Got it.
And I personally found that my
I actually find that very uncomfortable.
Roman nose was not super compatible with the headset.
You tried sliding it out though?
Yeah, but I don't like that. I like to have the headset tight against my face because I play games that require a lot of moving around.
And light leak sucks.
And well, the light leak is really good on it, actually.
I did notice because the rubber thingy, but still that is usually a reason why you want it closer.
But for me, a big part of why I want it closer is just so that when I move my head, I'm not feeling that drag, right?
Yeah.
It's like less leverage for it to move around on my face, right? And so
no, Connor, someone said try pushing buttons. Yeah, even the trigger is like hard because the bone of this part of my pinky.
Luke cam.
Yeah. So the bone of that part of my can I show you?
I can tell.
It's colliding and like bending my pinky in. So even pulling the trigger feels super awkward because if you see the natural position of where my finger goes on it isn't like up there, like that's extremely uncomfortable. It's like down here because it's cranking my hand down. And then even to get to this thumbstick is like my thumb's on full tilt. So I don't know. I could do it, but Not the biggest fan.
Bixby asks, what product doesn't have IPD adjustments? Quest 2.
Yeah.
They're digital. They're fake.
Yeah.
Whereas the PSVR 2 has proper IPD adjustment. Alpha's Intel says, Luke, Bing ChatGPT knows you were talking about it on WAN Show. It asks you not to be disappointed in its abilities.
Yeah, well, I think I talked about this last show.
Yeah.
I won't get into it too much, but I mentioned how it now has a form of memory because people are posting conversations that they have with it online, and it can search the internet, right? So it has a form of memory. It can see conversations that it has had in the future. Not all of them, just only ones that people have posted online. And it can see transcriptions of different things. So if we have closed captions for this video, for WAN Show, it might be able to have access to that. It can't watch the video, but it could watch a transcript. And it could see people discussing what we said on the show as well, if there's text versions of that. So yeah, it would be. I would expect that it would be aware of that. I don't know if you want to call it awareness, or I expect it would be able to search that up. But yeah.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. I was just poking into, people are talking about using the PSVR 2 on a PC. But the creator of the iVRE driver, which is a way to use the original PSVR on a PC, basically says, yeah, I don't think this is going to be that easy. He goes, you'll be wasting your money. There's no guarantee you could ever use it on a PC, and quite a good chance you won't be able to. The original PSVR is electronically equivalent to a monitor, so it is relatively simple to get a video signal up on it. Reading sensors, etc., took a lot of reverse engineering and at least a year from release before anyone figured that out. Took a couple more years before it was usable as a PC VR headset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still a work in progress with tracking controllers with the original hardware over 5 years from release. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to be a thing.
Yep. Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, it's kind of a funny thing to me. Like, if people can use it on the PC and they want to use it on the PC, is there really no margin in it at $500? Like, they couldn't just sell it as a VR headset? I guess that wouldn't be very PlayStation of them. That wouldn't be very Sony of them.
Sort of. PlayStation's actually been moving a ton of games to PC and has been fairly faithful in regards to like patching them and making sure that they actually run okay. Like when Horizon was one of the earlier games that they brought to PC, and it was quite a mess when they first brought it over, but they cleaned it up. And as far as my understanding goes, it's pretty stable now. So in the past, I would definitely agree with that. But these days, they've actually been pretty PC friendly.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Conrad says it's hard to keep customers in your walled garden if you open the door. I mean, yeah, that's fair enough.
True.
Why don't we jump into our